righty, gang. What it is, what it be like, what's going on? It is Wednesday. That means it's Okuma Wednesday. We always talk about some cool Okuma products on Wednesday, and today will not be disappointed. We'll be talking about the new Catalina rods. They brought them back. They brought back the Catalina rods. We're going to be talking about that today. And we're going to be talking about sea lions today, because I think it's time to go back there and talk about it again. It's been a long time since we had a conversation about the California sea lions. So today is the day I'm going to be talking sea lions. If you guys want to chime in and talk about it, feel free to text the show with whatever you feel needs to be talked about sea lions. But did you guys see the show yesterday? Oh my gosh. Is Tito Ortiz just a stud or what? He is an absolute phenomenal human being with his give backs and the way he treats little kids and our veterans. What a stud, what a man. That was just spectacular. It's it's hump day, and it is time to talk about the California sea lion and what they mean to you and me and everybody else. It's just absolutely incredible. So, what I, over the years, have seen is just a total overpopulation of the California sea lion along our California coast. And it is horrible that if you care about the sea lion, that you would allow this to happen. And then those of us that don't care about the sea lion, that we're watching this, it's just so absolutely crazy that the California sea lion is the most overregulated and underutilized animal on the planet Earth. Let's see, I don't even know how to say this, but you can't even talk about them yeah, we made it through the storm. We're okay. We're on the other side. It's a little windy today, but yeah, the town got tore up, a lot of flooding, but we're okay. Dave, thank you for asking. But the thing about the California sea lion, you can't even bring them up. You can't bring them up in the meetings. The California Fish and Wildlife or the California Fish and Game Commission or anybody, anywhere, you don't even want to talk about the California sea lion. They don't want to talk about it. So they don't talk about it. And it's absolutely amazing that happens, that they don't talk about it. And I'm here today to talk about the California sea lion, and I'm here to get your input on what you guys think we should do, because something has to be done here. If you care about these animals, or if you care about the environment, something should be done. And I think I have the way that these animals should be taken care of. And I'm not talking about killing them, and I'm not talking about hurting them or anything like that. I'm talking about, and you let me know what you think, because we were told a long time ago my proposal was going to cost way too much money. Well, now it looks like it might be a flip-flop, because the California sea lion does so much devastation to our docks and our harbors and our launch ramps, that this may be something they want to go back and revisit. The California sea lion, I believe, needs to be spayed or neutered. I think it has to be, because we spayed and neuter our dogs, and we talk about it all the time. And Bob Barker on what The Price is Right used to say always at the end of the show, Make sure you spade or neuter your pets. Make sure you spade or neuter your pets. We do it to cats. We do it to dogs. Why in the world would we not do it to the California sea lion? Why would we allow this animal to just run amok? Now, I understand the tree huggers out there. I understand the people. They don't understand what's going on out there. And they're like, well, we need to save the sea lions. Well, what I ask is, what are we saving them from besides nature or besides the government? Because the California sea lion is overpopulated. We can talk about that till our heads fall off. But if you go around the harbors of Southern California, Oregon, Washington, Cabo San Lucas, the California sea lion is way overpopulated. It's called the California sea lion because that's where they originated from. But now they are in Alaska. They're in Cabo. They're in the Sea of Cortez. They're all over the place. So what I believe is spade or neuter them. That would cost too much. Well, if you took the animals that are just in Dana Point Harbor and we spayed and neutered those, instead of spending the money, the massive amounts of money, if you've been into Dana Point Harbor lately, you see the massive amounts of buckets. The buckets are just absolutely incredible. But then the amount of money we spend rebuilding docks is up in the hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just for Dana Point alone. If you took all the money that we set aside, and Justin, why don't you jump on here? Why don't you jump on here so we can have this conversation? I think this is a great conversation for you and I to have, because I don't think that it would, that's what they used to say, that it would bankrupt the country. It would send us into a bankruptcy, but not anymore. The amount of money we spend just fixing the things they break is a mind-boggling number. My sister, just for her docks. Now, I'm not talking all the docks in Dana Point. I'm talking about Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Their docks right there. They would spend somewhere around 150 to 200 grand a year just on the repairs from the devastation from the California sea lions, let alone if someone was to get bit. What do you mean by that, Dave? Well, if people come down, and the docks aren't always locked, so boat comes in, boat goes out in the afternoon, and they left the dock unlocked. Tourists are going to make their way down the dock to pet the California sea lion because they're so cute and they look so beautiful. And they're going to come down there and they're going to want to try to pet that animal, not knowing what a wild animal it is. The bite from a sea lion is 10 times stronger than that of a pit bull, the bite pressure of a sea lion. So when they bite a human being, oh my gosh, it is a horrible thing. And it's absolutely unbelievable that people would want to try to pet them. But good afternoon, Daniel. Good afternoon. People would try to pet the California sea lion. That's crazy. But they will, as long as the docks are left open. Let me just show you I know some of you have seen this video before. A lot of you haven't. Just look at, for example, this is one harbor on the coast. Check this out. All right, this animal has been unregulated for since the late 60s, and now the population is totally out of control. I'm making this video to show you the devastation these animals are causing, let alone what they're causing to the fish populations, and we'll talk about that a little later in the video. But look at this, destroying private property. Check this out. All right, I'm making this video for all of you. Here's what's happening in most harbors up and down the California coast. This animal right here has taken over. Now, how in the world do you think this is sustainable, folks? You can't walk up to these docks and get these animals off the dock by walking up to them. They've taken over all the docks in California, Oregon, Washington, all the way down to Cabo San Lucas. This is one of the most overpopulated animals on the planet Earth. We're doing this animal no favors. They do not want to be living like this. This is called overpopulation. This was caused by us. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, we started vaccinating this animal. We couldn't let them die of natural causes, so we started vaccinating them. When we started the vaccination process, we caused an overpopulation of sea lions. If you care about this animal at all, this should drive you absolutely crazy. They don't want to be in these harbors, on these docks. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think we can do to save the harbors on the docks. They absolutely want to be out in the rookeries, out free swimming, eating fish, having the time of their lives. But the fact is, the rookeries are overpopulated. The rookeries have been taken over. So the rookeries are overpopulated. And then, like Brett says, Seawolf, there's areas, large areas that are closed because of the California sea lion, that they train divers to, they can't do that anymore. But the real problem is the animal itself. The animal itself, if you care about these guys at all, you should want to do something to change this. Now, people don't believe me when I tell them that the animal is overpopulated. I don't know. I can't show any more examples than I already have shown. But if you wanted to get into this thing and look hard into this animal, these guys are all over all the docks where they don't want to be. They don't want to be on a dock. They want to be out at a rookery. They want to be in places that are free for the sea lions, but they haven't had that opportunity for so long because of the overpopulation. So therefore, you have them in all these harbors and on all these docks and all these places that they're not supposed to be. And that just, oh my God, it just unbelievably creates a massive amount of sea lions. Hi, Justin.
I had to jump in on this one because we're gonna debate. Everyone's gonna see Dave and I debate.
Absolutely. I love to debate with you. Let's talk about it. What do you think?
Instead of being left or right, it's up or down.
Right.
So here's what I think about this whole sea lion thing and what you were talking about. Yeah, it's a good idea, so on and so on, but it's gonna boil down to us taxpayers paying for that to be done. So here's how you have to look at it. It's going to cost an average of $250 per sea lion to get spayed or neutered. That's just to get spayed or neutered, not to pay for someone to go out there to capture the animals, so on and so on, because people aren't going to want to do this for free. And they're going to want to do it for a higher dollar than what they would normally charge for something. So now they're going to have to go out there, probably shoot them with the dart gun, and bring that animal in, however much it's going to cost to bring them in, or do it in a sanitary environment, so on and so on. Either they're going to have to buy trucks or vans or something to put the big, huge sea lion in, weighing between 300 and 1,000 pounds, and then spay or neuter this animal, and then make sure they come out of the sleep to then be released. But then, are they just going to be able to just release them with the cut, or are they going to have to hold them, and that's going to cost more money? So now that it's probably going to cost around $400 per animal with all the resources that's involved. Fish and Wildlife and NOAA and so on are not going to want to pay for this. They're going to pass it on to the taxpayer. So now our taxes are going to go up to pay for the sea lion issue. Instead, why don't we do what we do with everything else? I mean, to me, a deer is way prettier than a sea lion. And it's cool. They have eyelashes. They catch your attention. If you look at a deer closely, they have eyelashes. They have a sense of humor, so on and so on. But what are we allowed to do? We're allowed to shoot them. We're not allowed to shoot all of them. We're only allowed to shoot a certain amount just to keep the population under control. Why? Because deer breed like rabbits. They can have 1, 2, even 3 babies at a time. And if there is 20 deer or 20 doe to 1 buck, that could be 40 babies in 1 year that just the 20 deer had. So it's the same kind of thing with the sea lion. A sea lion can have 1 or 2 pups, and they're just going to breed. Now I'm going to refer back to the deer situation. In California, in every state, there's a price to pay for a deer tag. In California, it's like $45 for your tag. In other states, out-of-staters can pay, over here, I think it's like $300 to $600 for an out-of-stater to come here and hunt a deer. So why not pass that same thing down to the sea lion and control the population instead of costing taxpayers money to pay for this spay and neuter? Instead, we can control the population with a tag of $500, which then the state of California and Department of Fish and Wildlife are going to have more money to pay for more officers to start regulating all this, more people employed, and so on. That's my point.
Well, because this is California, and we cannot kill deer, we cannot kill rats, we cannot kill mice, and we certainly cannot kill sea lions. My thought would be take the money that is already donated by the Hewlett Packard Company and donated by the Friends of the Sea Lions and SeaWorld and all these other companies that do so much for the California sea lion, and take that money that's already there. Because let's be honest, Justin, nobody's gonna let you kill a sea lion in California, no matter what. That is a great idea, that's a great thought, but they're not gonna allow it. They're just not. They're not going to allow it. I mean, they're killing them in Oregon right now, and they're not talking about it. That's crazy that they're doing that. But in California, that's a whole different animal, I believe anyway. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I see that they would never pass this to allow you to kill them.
Yeah. I mean, unless we get a different governor.
Right. But we know we don't elect the governor in California anyway. That's already been predetermined.
Yeah. I mean, if Oregon, and I think at Oregon and Washington or something, they made it to where you can hunt sea lions, like a certain amount. They started regulating them because you're able to hunt the California sea lion because they're not even native there. They're a nuisance, but not all of them. It's regulated on what you can and cannot do and who can do it. And I think what they did is they did it for not Eskimo people. I think it was Indian. I think you had to be Indian. If you're like an Indian tribe or in a tribal family, you're able to get a tag to actually go out there and hunt these animals. So that being said, if it's possible somewhere, it's possible somewhere else. So it would be possible here. It would just have to go into a voting thing, and then how do you get it to that situation? Then you'd have to also show how much damage the sea lions have caused and how much money the state would make, because they're all about money, right? Whether it's going into their pockets or something, they're not going to lose money. They want to make money. Like Newsom needs to pay for that $1 billion mansion he built, right? So they want to make money somehow. And if that's a way, I think it's possible.
Well, hold that thought for 1 second. Check out these bitchin' rods. Justin's already got a couple of them. These things are absolutely incredible. The Catalina series rods from Okuma. I'm so happy that they brought these back because these are absolutely phenomenal. They serve a purpose, and they're not that expensive. So check these things out, and they catch fish. I'm telling you, I've got quite a few of them. So if you check out this rod and you like it, let us know. We'll get you one. Check it out.
Hey guys, this is John Bretz with Okuma Fishing Tackle. What we have here is a new Catalina rod series. This is new saltwater series. We're doing 5 different models, all going to be 7.5 foot lengths. We're going to do a medium, medium heavy, and heavy live bait rod. A lot of versatility with that rod. And we're going to do 2 rail rods, a 2XH and a 3XH model. You'll notice the foregrips are EVA on all of the rods. The rail rods are going to have a shrink tube rear grip with a machined aluminum gimbal. And then when you look at the live bait rods, those will have an EVA with a rubber end cap. As far as a guide configuration goes, we're going to have stainless steel welded guides on the live bait rods. And those will also be bridge guides, so it's extremely durable. This is the type of guide that you want for ultimate durability. And then for the rail rods, we have stainless steel sea guide frames with zirconium inserts. So not only do you have that deep pressed frame design to protect the insert, you also have zirconium, which is going to be optimized for braided line fishing. This is just an incredible rod. The rod blank itself is 24-ton carbon fiber, so it's going to be lightweight and extremely durable. And then we equipped all these rods with our UFR tip technology. That's going to give you over 3 times the lifting power. So if you're in a situation where you don't want a high stick, but you actually have a fish that runs under the boat, it's going to help protect and make that rod that much more durable. As far as the reel seats go on the live bait rods, they're all going to have Fuji reel seats, but depending on the model, it'll either be the DPS Fuji reel seat or the heavy duty graphite Fuji reel seat. So great componentry. When you get to the rail rod, you're going to have a machined aluminum Okuma reel seat, 2-toned anodized. Just looks amazing and give you amazing performance. These are rods that I'd put on my boat and I'd fish on any trip. Amazing new introduction in addition to the Okuma product line, the Catalina rod series. If you want to find out more information, check it out at a retailer near you or on okumafishingusa.com.
Yeah, that is a pretty amazing rod, right, Justin?
Heck yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So another thing is to think about is, so if it's going to cost a minimum, bare minimum of $250 to spay or neuter 1 sea line, and you do, say, how many sea lines? You do 100 sea lions? No, we'll do more than that. Say 500 sea lions. How much is that? I can't do the math very well. So it's $125,000, right, for just 500 sea lions. That's how much the government or whoever is going to be paying for this is going to have to dish out. Now, if it's $500 a tag that we pay to actually go and hunt these sea lions, and they only give out 1,000 tags a year, that's $500,000 to the state. And so that number will go up even more. Say they give out, I'm getting like 1 million messages, 10,000 tags, that would be $5 million that the state would get. Now it's just how do you put that bill on the table for everyone to vote for? Like Seawolf said a minute ago, it'll save the.
This is me.
It'll bring back the salmon fishery. Well, has anyone ever gone out and filmed all of these sea lions sitting at the mouth of the river, and when these salmon come through, film them eating them? I haven't seen anything. Not that there's not one, but I haven't heard of any. I haven't seen any of them. Maybe someone should start filming this stuff, showing how detrimental these sea lions are to our fisheries. And then we also film the sea lions as we're out there fishing, maybe on a sport boat, when they're catching a whole bunch of fish and the sea lions are just eating everything. if all this was filmed, you could put a whole collage together and then introduce that with the bill to do a hunt on sea lions. Not to kill all of them. You don't want to kill all of them. You just want to start regulating them, controlling the population.
Well, you couldn't kill them all anyway because during the third trimester of their pregnancy, they get pregnant. So they're always pupping. They're never not pupping. They're always having pups. I mean, we use the word, they want to say that there's less than 1 million sea lions right now. Okay. So we'll just use 750,000. In 9 months, that'll be 1,400,000 or 1,500,000. And in 18 months, it'll be 3 million. And it goes on and on and on like that. But I just don't understand why they have more rights than you or I. I want to be a sea lion when I grow up.
Don't we all?
Free health care. Well,
Yeah.
That's cool. That's the only thing that really scares me in California is health care.
Yeah, well, if you just jump across the border, you can get it.
Yeah, there you go.
Just kidding. So, yeah, I don't know. Does anyone on here that's watching have any other great ideas? I mean, all we can do is talk about it, right? Like it's ever going to happen, unless we actually do something, and then maybe we'll have a stand on what we can and cannot do.
Well, that's the thing is like my sister and Wayne and my dad used to say, that is a terrible bad word. That is the most sacred animal on the planet Earth. So you can't even bring them up at a meeting, Justin.
Did you see also that guy in Morro Bay or Monterey Bay or whatever bay up north somewhere, they put a $20,000 reward to turn in this guy that cut the head off of a dead sea lion on a beach.
Unbelievable.
What? A dead sea lion. The sea lion was already dead. He decided he was going to go over there. I mean, he's obviously a deranged individual, but why? The sea lion's already dead. So it doesn't make any sense. $20,000 reward.
And Jeanette, yeah, they were hunted exclusively for dog food until the 60s. And they got a high protein, they got a lot of oil inside of them. Their fur is very, very warm. I mean, there's a million things you can do, but California, I don't know. I just don't understand why it's so important to save the California sea lion. And I'm still asking, what are we saving this animal from?
Yeah, I'm going to look up where can you hunt sea lions?
I don't think you can.
Let's see what Google AI says. So they're protected under federal laws, which are the marine mammal conservation laws. So interesting. The Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972.
And if you really read that Marine Mammal Protection Act, it was said in that when it gets to a sustainable population. Well, it went way past that, but they haven't amended the Marine Mammal Act since 72 when it was written into law. And it's way gone past the sustainable. It's at criminal now.
Yeah. And the other thing is if they do put, if they were to put a tag for hunting on the sea lions, they can do it for bull sea lions, just straight bull sea lions. You have to hunt a bull sea lion, just like they do for elk. Elk and deer. You're allowed to hunt bucks, and they have to be a certain size, yada yada yada. They can do the same thing with sea lions and make a whole ton of money. There it is. Sorry, we're reading a comment from Jeanette.
Yeah, well, when I brought this up to April Volke, she thought they were super cute and everything, but when she found out that they were eating her steelhead, which she loves and she fishes for, and she's like the expert on steelhead fishing. When she found out they were eating the steelhead, oh my goodness, we got into it, and then we brought in a tribesman, and we brought in a fishing game guy, and we had a round table. I don't know if any of you ever saw that, but yeah, she believes in her heart now that something needs to be done. But here we are, 2 years later, we're just still sitting on it. Nobody's willing to do anything.
Yeah, and Brent said get Trump involved. Yeah, so we could have a whole shutdown on something else. The other side will end up shutting down a whole bunch of other stuff if we do that. So I don't know. Good topic today, though. I had to jump in on this one.
Yeah, well, it's a weird deal because it's so untouchable. I just like to bring it up and make people think about it. What the hell are we doing? If the deer population got to this level that these sea lions are at right now, you would do something about it. You, as a hunters and outdoorsmen and stuff, they would never allow this to get so out of hand, would they?
A perfect example, Catalina Island. Seriously, look at the deer population. Catalina Island is 23 miles long, and the widest point is like 3 miles or something. That's the widest point. There is a population of deer, they said estimated of 1,300 to 1,500 animals. That would be over 20 deer per square mile on Catalina, which is a ton of deer. That's a lot of deer. Now, why do they want to get rid of the deer on Catalina? Because they're eating all the native plants, so on and so on. So why not protect the deer more than protect the California sea lion? Because deer, to me, look way prettier than a California ugly sea lion with big old huge teeth. So I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
And what are we going to do about the sea lion? I mean, about the deers on Catalina.
What are they going to do about it?
Yeah.
Oh, they put a proposal to go and kill them all, and they're stopping it because most of the native people on Catalina don't want it to happen. So that's where that's at.
So they're going to let them run amok too.
Yep. Eat all the native plants and everything else. It's just like the California sea lion. The California sea lion is eating all of our fisheries, our native fishery. You want to blame sand bass on something, blame the California sea lion. You want to blame salmon on something, go over there yourself, go check it out. You're going to see them all waiting there at the river mouth, waiting for the salmon to get there. Salmon don't swim super fast. They're not like marlin or anything that swim at 900 miles an hour. Salmon are kind of slow, and especially when it becomes breeding season, they're going to come in numbers, big numbers. And when they come in numbers, that all the sea lion has to do is swim underneath the water with his mouth open and start grabbing them. And they say they eat an average of 25 pounds. For a normal sized sea lion, I think it's a 300 pound or 400 pound sea lion. They eat an average of 25 pounds per day, right? That's a 300 or 400 pound sea lion. If you have an 800 pound bull, what's he eating? 50 pounds a day? And how much do these salmon weigh? These salmon are averaging 2 to 5 pounds a piece. They're not gigantic. So 2 to 5 pounds, who knows? What are they eating? 20 salmon a day, each sea lion. And now if you have, say, 200 sea lions sitting at the mouth of this river, what's really going on? Where's all the salmon going? So it's just like the same thing with the mountain lion population out here. They say that in the San Bernardino National Forest, which is Big Bear area, San Bernardino National Forest, that can hold an average of one mountain lion per 3 square miles. That's the range that they say it can hold each mountain lion, so on and so on. Right now we're at 9. What was it? 9 mountain lions per 2 square miles in the San Bernardino National Forest. Yeah, and they're protected. You can't touch them. And does anyone know what they eat? They eat deer. They eat fawns. They eat an average of 1 per week. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, you go to other states, like you go to Texas, Georgia, Colorado, Nevada. Nevada especially. Nevada is really good. Utah, Montana, they control the population of everything except for wolves. Like some frickin' mental person decided that they're going to buy $1 million wolves from
Canada.
In Canada.
Jim Shockey. If you look at that interview, that is just an amazing thing. He thinks it's so funny. Who'd have ever thought that you would buy timber wolves? And they're just like, he's laughing. He's like, yeah, we'll sell them to you all day long.
Yeah. And then the northeast section of Colorado, they let go, I think, 20 wolves. That's $20 million that we had to pay for in taxes. They let go 20 wolves from Canada up there, and there's less than half of them living now because they couldn't live in that environment. And then the northwestern part of Colorado, they said that the farmers are actually killing more than what they wanted them to do because they're going and eating their cattle. So good, shoot them all. That's what I think of it. Shoot all the wolves.
And now there's a bunch of people that want to reintroduce the grizzly bear to California.
Yeah, the freaking big bear. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, Brett's putting up some stuff right now. Brett actually asked about the California sea lion at the Fishing Game Commission meeting, and it went silent. It just totally, because they don't want to talk about the true reason why we're having all these problems with populations of fish. And it's, you can pretty much see it goes right back to the California sea lion.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird. I don't understand it. I know we're going to look back and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this next year. Next year, gang, the number's going to double what it is now. No, it's going to triple or quadruple, because every 9 months the animal has a baby. Think about that. That is absolutely amazing.
Oh, so Brent, don't even mention that word that you said with the T, because that's not what they're bringing here. They will bring those if they can. Those are probably $2 million. They're bringing the gray wolf over here. They're thinking that the gray wolf can live in areas that it's never supposedly lived in before. And to me, working with animals a whole lot, even with wolves, I had a friend in Florida who had real life 100% wolves, which are federally protected. And there's a big thing. He had a documentation for them. So when you grab an animal from one habitat and you switch their habitat when they're adults completely, that animal has like 60 to 80% chance of dying, not living, because they're not used to that area. They're not used to what their prey is over there. They're not used to situations, cold, and so on. So they have a 60 to 80% chance of actually dying. And then they're talking about bringing the otters down here. That's a whole another situation. Hopefully they get ran over by boats. I mean, no, never mind.
Well,
Bless you. Plus,
The otters, it's a totally different thing because they're doing all their hunting underneath the water. You don't really see what's going on, but they're devastating the crabs. They're devastating the crab populations. I asked Larry when I was up there a couple years ago, hey, can we crab? And he's all, no, there's no crabs here anymore. There's literally, Gustavus, there's rafts of sea otters, giant rafts of them all over the place. Mike Lewis and Ron and I, we were taking pictures of the otters when we first went out. And the next thing you know was like, we're not even going to waste any more pictures because we were taking 300 pictures in 5 minutes because there was so many otters. It's just ridiculous. Now they want to take the otters and bring them down here to Southern California to decimate the crabs and the lobsters down here. It's just sick.
Yeah. Yep. When am I going hoop netting?
Yeah, we all want to know.
It's been weird. I don't know. I'll be out next week. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be out yesterday hoop netting, and then I was supposed to be out today, and that all changed. And now next week I should be out a few times. So yeah, hopefully next week. Brent?
Yeah, I've got this crappy hay fever right now because I don't know if you guys saw, but we had a massive hurricane come through here yesterday, dumped a phenomenal amount of water. It just absolutely flooded everywhere. They have done no infrastructure down here for so long, but they just keep building and they just keep building, and it's just amazing. There's nowhere for the water to go. So it just floods the city immediately. Just a little sprinkle.
Wow. So tomorrow, hopefully, we get some rain from that system that ran down south near Dave. Hopefully. It's all up in the air right now. I'm looking at the weather forecast, but hopefully tomorrow we get some rain. It looks like we're gonna get it, but you never know. Things can change, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's not gonna be a heavy rain, but at least it's gonna be something, and that should get some things crawling. Tomorrow night, maybe Friday night. So, yeah, we have to control these sea lions because they're out of control. They are out of control. So how would we start a bill to put a tag or whatever we're going to do for sea lions?
And can we actually, as a group, can we change this and do something?
Yeah.
Can we do it? I don't know. Because my sister, my father, and everyone that I've ever talked to that goes to the meetings, they say that it is a taboo subject. It is absolute taboo.
Yeah. But things are a lot different right now. So who knows? Yeah. It can either go really good or really, really bad. So how do you tell the difference between a male and female sea lion? First, you shoot it, flip it upside down, and see. No, I'm just kidding. You don't do that.
Now you look at their right between their eyes. The male sea lions has that crown, if you will. It's a big, giant. Plus, they're much larger. But when they're smaller, you can't really tell. But when they get that cranial crest, if you will, between their eyes, and the males are going to weigh about 1,000 pounds, and the females are going to weigh about 400 pounds. And the males are much bigger than the females. That picture you just sent me, John, of that's a male sea lion sleeping on your partner's boat or your neighbor's boat. That's a male sea lion.
They have like a knot on their head, and then their upper jaw cheeks are wider. They're kind of bulged out more, almost like a muscle mass. Imagine getting bit by that thing, huh? Ooh.
Yeah. There's so many people. Like down here, there's a sea lion named Poncho, and the people take a picture and they hug it and stuff. And I'm like, dude, if that thing latches onto your neck, oh my God, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah. Yep, and there's not enough sharks or anything to control the population of sea lions. I think the sharks, they're mainly eating fish, bait fish and stuff. They're not. I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, save the giant sharks, save the giant sharks." They're eating all the sea lions. Not really. They're eating a lot of fish, bait. So yeah. What else? Anyone else have any ideas of how to control the population of sea lions? Anybody?
They all seem to like your idea of paying for a tag, but I'm sorry, I just don't see that ever happening in California.
Yeah, it would, like Jeanette said, we'd have to prove that it is endangering some fish species for them to do anything, to even think about it. Maybe if we go and do a trip over to the river for the salmon and we just video it, stay there all day and video it. We could be like scientists and just video. Stare at it.
Well, the thing they came up with that made so Oregon and Washington could start hunting them was they are causing the killer whales to starve to death because there's a certain kind of killer whale that only eats salmon. And this subspecies of killer whale that only eats salmon, they were finding that they're starving to death because the sea lions are eating all the salmon. And then the tree huggers were, oh my gosh, the killer whales are starving to death? And they're like, yeah, because of the sea. And they're like, oh my goodness. That threw up. So we can show them that maybe we could show them that they're causing the salmon population to dwindle. And I thought back in the day when SeaWorld was going through their problems with the blackfish thing, I thought it would be great to have tournaments where you put little jerseys on the sea lions. Red team, green team, blue team, drop them in the aquarium with the killer whales in there, and then you just bet on them. And whoever survived, then you would bet on it. That sea lion that survived the longest, then he won the tournament.
That I would actually go to SeaWorld for that.
Right. A lot of people would go.
That would be pretty amazing. But you'd have to catch the sea lions out in the ocean and then bring them in.
Oh, yeah.
See which one survives.
They wouldn't know what was going on. They just get dropped. Oh, I'm a sick weirdo.
That's another great idea. I'm surprised SeaWorld isn't doing something about this. Shows you how much they care.
Well, they do. They're saving the sea lions. I think too many people are making way too much money saving the sea lion to worry about saving the sea lion.
Yeah. Dave's best idea so far.
Could you imagine? Then you could have the green team, the blue team, the red team, and then little jerseys on them, and then we could take that money and we could use it to
get more sea lions. Then try it again.
Oh, the place would be packed. It would be.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a ticket. You wouldn't be able to get in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Jeanette said, it's all about money. That's why I think that putting a tag, a limited quota, not a million tags it's not like an unlimited number of tags. It's going to be a limited number of tags, like 5,000 tags at $500 a piece. You do that, the state or the government, whoever, will be able to, obviously 90% of that money is going to go into their pockets, just like the Palisades Fire money. But at least there'll be some extra money out there for more officers and maybe more fish and game officers to regulate everything more, or something. So it would be a lot of money. And I personally, if that ever does happen, if you buy 2 tags, I'm throwing a free charter. Or getting sea lions, I'll provide the guns, and we'll go get them. Yeah, I think really they would sell out. They would sell out of those. You know how many landings would buy those tags up at $500 a piece? That's $500 for one thing is a lot of money for one tag. But if they put 5,000 tags for sea lions, and that won't even put a dent in the population. But over the next 10 years, it will regulate the population of sea lions. So $500 a tag, I guarantee you the landings will probably buy 100 tags a piece. Each landing. They would buy a lot of them because everyone's sick and tired of these sea lions. They're sick of them. They're out of control.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know what the thing is. What is it that is going to tip the scale in our favor? I don't know what it is, but something has to work pretty soon here, because it's way in the favor of the sea lion. Well, it's not even in the favor of the sea lion. If you care about the sea lion, you would really be devastated if you thought it all the way through. Ladies and gentlemen, you'd be super bummed out that the animal has to live this way. They are overpopulated, living in the harbors. They're not even getting the proper diets. They're not getting what they want to eat. And they're living in squalor, and they're living in filth. And if you look at the docks, like in that one video I showed a little while ago, where all the animals are laying on the docks, if you looked real close, there's dead animals on those docks that the live animals are laying on top of. It is just so sad and so devastating. But, oh well, we don't know what to do, so we're just going to do nothing.
Yep, Jeanette, 100%.
Yeah. Just like all those people that were talking, Jeanette, about the air show thing, that those planes flew over our boats and put on a little show for us with the war heroes, and then all those people that were making those comments about how this is, oh my God, those are the people. They're the people.
It's like, when they say something about, so those of you that didn't see, if you go on Your Saltwater Guide and see the video that they posted of all the boats with the American flags, every single boat had them on there, and the planes flying over with their smoke stream and everything else. It was really cool. They're like older war type planes, all done up. They posted the video of it, and people were on there, and that's not America. They do that in every single country. So the question is what other country or what other place, period, throws a veteran force tournament with American flags, with planes flying over, and fishing all inclusive?
And it's all donated.
And don't worry, we'll wait for whoever can answer that.
And it's all donated, and it just got all those snowflakes were pissed.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could be pissed about that.
You put that if they did do the thing for the sea lion tags, I guarantee you all those pink and blue haired nose ring people would be lighting boats on fire. That's just what they would do.
Absolutely.
All the mask wearing people.
Yep. Unbelievable.
So,
well, if you guys watch this or share this with your friends and talk about the sea lion thing and what makes sense to you, what makes sense to them. If anybody has any idea what we can do, what we should be doing, please feel free to reach out. Share this video with your friends because something has to be done. It's getting to the point where we got to do something and we got to do it soon. There's so much other stuff going on, but the sea lion thing is very real and you can see it and touch it and feel it.
Oh, here, keep talking. I'm looking something up. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think somebody's going to have an answer. Somebody's going to have something that we can all do. And I'll be more than happy to facilitate it, jump on it. Brent Seawolf, he'll drive this thing along. Whatever, we'll all show up at the meeting. It'd be really interesting to everybody to show up at the meeting and ask about California sea lions. That hasn't been done before. That would scare the hell out of them. They can't say that the sea lions overfished, like they did say the sand bass was overfished. We almost lost that sand bass. That's kind of crazy that it came to that. We still gave them one, which was pretty stupid. Yeah.
So what we could do is, if everyone wants to try to get this ball rolling with sea lions, we could, in a very nice and professional manner, write Congressman Ken Calvert and Mark Takano and just express your feelings about the whole sea lion population without getting too emotional about it. Not as an emotional as wah, 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 more as in, what the F are you doing, yo? That kind of stuff. We could be professional about it and write them and say, hey, there's a problem in California, and this is what we're seeing. And you can name some facts or bases on the fish population, them taking over docks, also the salmon issue and stuff like that. But I think that if we just flood their email with just our expressions of how we feel, maybe it'll actually start ringing some bells and they'll think about doing something about it.
Absolutely, gang. Well, hey, we got a guy coming here right now that's going to guarantees us all the flies will be gone. There's not going to be any flies anymore. He's already done this at a couple restaurants and it works. He's going to pay 1,000 pesos and all flies will disappear. So I'm going to check that out. The guy's here right now. He got here a couple minutes early. I'm going to jump on there and check it out. I'll let you guys know tomorrow how the flies are doing. But it's gnarly right now. There's so many flies here. So thank you, everybody, for watching today. Justin, thanks for jumping in always. I appreciate you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much. See ya.
Yep.